Hey. Richardson Hitchins versus George Kambosos. What really happened? Now, your boy Ego is back with another What Really Happened. Often imitated but never duplicated. There's a lot of different content creators trying to put out variations, but just know what really happened. Let you know what really happened. Let's get started. Now, normally I talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly when it comes to these fight breakdowns. I'll start with the good. Y'all need some good news right about now. All the things going on in the world. Richardson Hitchins looked very sharp. Absolutely dominated George Kambosos. In fact, there were very few, if any, I didn't really find any competitive moments. It was the Africa show. Africa. Fun none away. Malaysia. 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 Kumbaya. And that was just at the airport. Tell me what that's from. Africa dominated this man, and I'm the best in the business, and it wasn't even close. This fight wasn't even close. No rounds for George Kambosos. No real moments. No real oh-ish moments. He got Hitchens in a bad spot. So got to give credit to Hitchens. He did what he said he was going to do, which was got to stop it. Drop. I repeat, this wasn't a competitive fight. Now, something that was funny, after he got the stoppage, he gets on the turnbuckle and he says, I told you, ussy. That's the P word, right? I don't know. He probably was talking to somebody in the crowd or Cambosos' team. I found that funny because I don't know. I've always been good about reading lips, pause. But I can always, I've always been good at seeing when people mouth words and what they're saying, even if they're not mic'd up. So I for sure know that's what he said. He says, I told you, ussy. That was hilarious to me. So the good is Richardson Hitchins, right? Did his thing. What did I like? His jab. His jab was what really stuck out, and he punished him to the body and unlocked that. And it was just a complete performance. He's really growing as a champion, right? You look at him in the fight with Liam Paro versus now, he looks like he's maturing as a fighter. The confidence level has risen. His money has risen. Make sure you guys subscribe, hit the bell icon so you don't miss a thing. Everything has kind of went up for Richardson Hitchins since he became champion. So very strong performance. I don't know how long he can make 140. He looks pretty big. Back looks pretty wide. Looks in shape. Made the weight okay for this fight. Fight happened. It is what it is. But I don't know. What do you guys want to see? I think Teofimo, if he stays at 140, Teofimo Lopez, do that in New York. I mean, if you take that out of New York, if Turkey take that and put it in Saudi Arabia, that's crazy. But that's easily a New York fight if Teo is staying at 140. And he might, because Teo is, he said the Devin Haney fight is not happening. And the Jerron Ennis fight ain't happening. And Eddie Hearn says Boots is moving up anyway to 154. So who's Teo going to fight? Who's Hitchens going to fight? It is such a logical next step. I would be shocked if they don't or can't make that. I don't want to see Hitchens in any fights like this with like a Kambosos level. No disrespect to the dude, but some people were like, oh, Ego, no prediction. Come on, bro. I'm a businessman. You know that because you fought me at my place as a business. Why would I waste my time doing a fight prediction for a fight like this? That's why you didn't, I am very strategic, right? Very strategic. If I don't do something, usually there is a reason for it, right? I'm not oblivious. I'm not living in, some rural area where I don't have Wi-Fi. I know what's going on. But if I'm not making content, it's probably because I've been doing this so long and things that interest me, things that I genuinely actually like, it's easier to put out content. Some of this other stuff is a force. Like, as a boxing fan, if I'm not doing anything, I'll watch fights even if I'm not really hyped for it. But at the same time, I'm not making out a bunch of content about this fight because I knew what it was going to be. I knew it was going to be a Hitchens domination, and it was everything that I believed it was. Now, let's talk about the bad and the ugly. We got to do it. The bad is George Kambosos did not live up to anything that he had said in the build up to this fight. He was like, Hitchens, I'm gonna make you, I don't know the words, but I'm just gonna make up what he said because I'm not gonna quote it verbatim and look up the quotes. He's just like, Hitchens, I'm gonna make you bleed, and you're a peasant to me, and you're nobody, and you think you're better than Devin Haney, and yeah. All this stuff, none of that showed up. You got punished. You got beat every round. So really, George Kambosos, I would be shocked if he's not considering retirement. And normally I don't like to tell people when to retire, and I'm not telling him when to retire, but it's not looking good. You know, at this level, I guess if you want to keep fighting, but big opportunities, I think, are going to get fewer and fewer. You got stopped pretty much back-to-back. Lomachenko stopped you. Hitchens stopped you. Now, what's the point? You know what I mean? You might end up becoming like a journeyman. Teofimo is your biggest win, and that was some years ago. And ever since that, it's looked like a one-hit wonder. I'm being real. I have to be real on my channel. I think Kambosos is a cool dude, but looking real one-hit wonderish. Like that one song. Now I tried to tell you so. Yes, I did. About the time you broke my heart. Return of the Mac. Once again. Return of the Mac. Oh my God. Bro, you looking real Mark Morrison. One-hit wonder. Return. Oh my God. Yes, I did. Right? That's what it's looking like. The claim to fame is the Teo fight. So that's not a good position to be in as a boxer, because all of the other names outside of Teofimo Lopez that you fought, you had really eked by, like Mickey Bay and Lee Selby, split decision. So you barely, got by them in split decision fashion. And then the other big names, Devin Haney beat you, Hitchens stopped you, Lomachenko stopped you. I really thought, even though they didn't score it right, Maxie Hughes really beat you. So it's like, at this point, what else is left? And and you're kind of known as Pacquiao's sparring partner for whenever he used you for whatever fight, and the Teofimo victory. But I would be surprised if another big fight, because what's going to happen is if he continues to fight, in my opinion, if he continues to fight, they're just going to use him as a stepping stone to build guys like Tito Mercado. And then Tito Mercado is going to fight him and knock him out quicker. And then that's going to be that. I promise you, I've been in the game. You got to get in and get out. You know what I mean? I know how this game works. They will use you and abuse you. And you just become a pawn in the game where you had some fame. You were, a lineal champion or whatever. And then they're just going to ride off that and feed you to younger people like they did with like Carlos Baldomir when he got knocked out by Canelo. So that is the bad for George Kambosos. But now we talk about the ugly. I gave you the good. I gave you the bad. Let's talk about some of the ugly. Sam Cassell. This card was trash. PBC is really looking like the gold standard. I tweeted this if you follow me on my Twitter. PBC, I don't remember a card that they've ever put on like this in recent memory. Caleb Plant, Resendez, the main star, the A side, got upset by an underdog, right? So they have that theater of the unknown experience for the viewer, right? You have fights on that card that were good. Mario Barrios is getting ready to fight Pacquiao. I don't see how that's going to be a bad fight. Plus, even if that was, which I highly doubt, you got Pitbull Cruz versus Fierro. The first fight, I already watched it, and it was a banger, right? In addition to other cards. So, rematch room, Riyadh season in Turkey. They slapped this card together in New York. Every fight was a mismatch. Andy Cruz's fight blew the dude out. The dude, I don't know his name, the heavyweight, Thierry Massou or whatever his name is, he just been knocking out people, first round knockout. And then the Kambosos fight with Hitchens, it was not competitive. There were no moments, and to me, that's hurtful for boxing because that's cool, I guess, if you have a club fights in like a smaller scale, but boxing where you have to pay a subscription to a platform to watch, and then every fight, there's no surprises. The favorite does what the favorite is supposed to do. There's no, like, not even a moment like when Jared Anderson fought Charles Martin, late replacement, and he got hurt. You know, at least that's something. That's like at least a singular moment in the fight where you're like, oh, the favorite's hurt. What is it going to do? This fight, this card did not have any of that, right? Didn't have it. Hitchens was the favorite. He was the champion, and I knew he was going to win, and he won. There were no surprises. There were no come from behind. There was no, like, it was nothing. It was just what you thought would happen or should happen actually happened. And that's the bad and the ugly too for Kambosos' style. All that Rocky, what do you mean? What do you want me to do? You can't win. He killed Apollo. I gotta fight him. Drago! Like all that Rocky stuff does not work in the real world. I'm here to tell you that. I've been doing this long enough, and I'm here to let you know that ain't cracking, bro. So you have Turkey, who's doing the ring and Riyadh cards. He said he don't want no running and stuff. Richardson Hitchins didn't run at all, right? So there's that. Didn't run, punished the man. George Kambosos is known, I guess, as like an action fighter. But like I said, all that Rocky Balboa, what do you mean? Let me tell you something, you know, when you this big, like all that, yeah, that's what he was doing when Richardson Hitchins was punching him with that body shot. You know what I mean? That Rocky stuff don't work in the real world. I'm here to tell you. That's why the whole no running rule is stupid. You're going to get the shelf life of fighters and reduce it crazy if you make both fighters fight rock'em sock'em robot style. So I wasn't impressed with the card. The ugly is also DAZN has the worst commentary in the boxing game. Early rounds, Sergio Mora, it's like he was watching a different fight. He was saying these weird, preposterous things and making it sound like George Kambosos was doing something. Like, oh, I like what he did right there. George Kambosos with a body. And I'm like, Hitchens is looking sharp. He's controlling the whole fight at range, doubling the jab, tripling the jab, a couple body shots early, some hooks. He was like, George Kambosos wasn't moving his head. They didn't talk about none of that. So I hate commentary like that because for me, it's like you're talking about kind of like your own biases, what you want to be happening rather than what we're actually watching. We don't need you to do no predictive. It's not like iPhone where they have predictive text and they try to guess what word. Like you want to type never mind and it was Neanderthal and it'll prompt the word to pop up. We don't need predictive boxing commentary. We need you to tell us, especially if you're with, and this is not like a Boxingego watch party, even though my watch parties are fire, but it's not like a watch along or something with somebody. This is the actual company hosting the fight, and this is who they put as commentators. And let Sergio Mora tell it. He would almost like lead you to believe that Kambosos was ever doing something in the fight. And I watched the fight, and I'm here to tell you that didn't happen. He was in no control. He was getting hurt. Other thing I noticed, in the 5th round, he didn't go down, but Kambosos got hurt, and it was so obvious that he was weak to the body. He was wincing. He was backing up. And then Hitchens got, I don't want to say greedy, but he seen it, and he was like trying to force the stoppage, and he was bop, bop, bop. He was just tagging him. There were moments in the fight where he was tripling the jab, and literally Kambosos looked very bad and was at the end of every jab. If Hitchens threw 3, Kambosos got hit with 3. It was bad. It was like punishing. And in the 5th round, like I said, with the body shot, the fight looked like it was almost over. Richardson Hitchins possibly punched himself out a little bit. And round 6 was kind of like a take the round off a little bit. He still landed towards the end some hard shots, but ultimately maybe he punched himself out or had to regroup. Then he got right back to the boxing and the jabbing and the control from the outside. Then the body shot presented itself, I believe, in the 8th round. George Kambosos went down, and it was murder, she wrote, murder, she wrote. Like, it was over. He wasn't getting up. He never really fully recovered from the first body shot. So what was the DAZN commentators talking about, making it look like Kambosos was in the fight at any point? And what I seen was a lopsided landslide victory for Hitchens. Notice when Boxingego does the round by round via my social media or on a watch party, the stuff I say actually matches the outcome, because I'm not here to make anything up. I'm telling you what I'm really seeing. A lot of these people that are commentators, they're getting paid to commentate, and they have these weird like fetishes to lie and basically tell you what you're seeing even though it's not happening. It's like wishful thinking commentator and commentary. It's so bad. So that was the ugly for me. I really did not enjoy listening to DAZN's commentary, because it was already a uneventful fight. It was very one-sided, and then to listen to them making it look like, oh, Kambosos laying to the body. Kambosos would like barely graze Hitchens. They'd be like, that was good from Hitchens. I mean, they would be like, that's good from Kambosos. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And then meanwhile, he's getting his head popped back. Literally, Kambosos had a mouse under his eye, and his eye was going away in round 2. So I'm like, come on, bro. What are you watching, or what are you talking about? What are you trying to sell me, man? Very one-sided, but again, shout out to Richardson Hitchins. He moves on, stays a champion, remains a champion. Ugly, like I said, is Kambosos has to consider retirement at this point, and the commentary got to do better. Now, I like to save the best for last. There is a secret hidden ugly. I've given you the good, the bad, but there's a secret ugly that a lot of people, especially on YouTube and content creators, the Haniacs, they are not going to want to talk about. But your boy Ego, I talk about everything. And I posted it on my Twitter. Devin Haney's resume is aging like dog water, right? Let me explain. Devin Haney, perhaps his greatest accomplishment that people continue to throw up when they, quote, defend Devin Haney or talk about Devin, is the youngest champion that was undisputed. That's the marquee thing that I hear the Haniacs talk about, right? But now we continue to see this man. He lost twice to you, and he should have lost to Maxie Hughes, as I mentioned. He gets stopped by Hitchens the first attempt. He gets stopped by Lomachenko the first attempt. So, and Devin's not like the greatest, biggest puncher to the point where you can't really make the argument. It's not like David Benavidez or Wilder or Tank, where the 2 Devin Haney fights took so much out of him because he's a brute force puncher that he's never been the same. You can't really make that, because Devin Haney fought other guys and, you know what I mean, it didn't do all that. You know what I mean? Like Lomachenko got a knockout right after the Devin Haney fight. So the best name on Devin's resume is Lomachenko, and guess what? People think you lost the fight, or people are split if you won the fight. Then the other big name is Ryan Garcia. We know what happened. You got dropped a gang of times and initially lost the fight. So outside of that, your biggest accolade that Bill Haney and the Haniacs talk about is undisputed. And then we find out that George Kambosos, his win over Teofimo, he did it. He won. Cool. But it's looking very flukish, very similar and analogous to another Australian that had one big win, and that was Jeff Horn. Jeff Horn, somehow, some way, I thought it was a robbery. I thought Pacquiao won, but the judges gave it to him, whatever. So he got to be champion for a brief time. Very next fight, he fights Terrence Crawford, a real one and a great fighter. He gets destroyed. And then ever since that, he's been like irrelevant and getting destroyed by other people, right? So this looks very Jeff Hornish. It looks like a fluke. It doesn't look like there's some longevity. And it's funny because the Haneyacks and the Haneyacks content creators, they always have an axe to grind with Gervonta Davis, talk about who is Tank fought. Devin is the youngest, undisputed and all that. Stack Devin Haney's resume and Shakur Stevenson's resume with Tank's resume, and you'll notice nobody that either Devin or Shakur fought have really went on to do anything. Tank Davis, on the other hand, he fought Rolly, who later became a champion 2 times after the Tank knockout. He fought Pitbull Cruz, who later became a champion after the Tank Davis win. He fought Ryan and knocked Ryan out, who later beat Devin Haney, and Oscar Duarte, who's doing really good for himself. Then he did lose to Rolly, but that doesn't matter because Tank already beat Rolly by knockout and he beat Ryan by knockout. So Tank already claimed victory over both of those guys, right? And so on and so forth. Mario Barrios, he's been a champion, hurt Keith Thurman at welterweight, beat Ugas, almost stopped Ugas, and beat Maidana's brother, Fabian Maidana, and he's about to fight Pacquiao, right? And he beat Ramos. So Barrios is doing well for himself. So whose resume really aged well? Clearly it's Tank. And I also believe, even though this is my own premonition, I think Frank Martin will be just fine. I think he's going to bounce back with great wins in a new division. So Tank's resume is aging great, while Devin Haney's best names, Jojo Diaz. He gets stopped by Zepeda, beat up by Zepeda, beat up by Duarte. Ryan Garcia just lost to Rolly, but Ryan beat Devin or whatever. Then Lomachenko fights Kambosos, who is not really elite, coming off the Maxie Hughes fight, and then he retires rather than fighting Tank, Lomachenko, right? So he retires with a sorry 18-3 record or whatever it is. What are we talking about? Name someone. Devin Haney, Jorge Linares. What did he go on to do? Right? Name a person. Kambosos. So I get it. You struck while the iron's hot while Kambosos had the belts, but it doesn't look like a legendary elite Hall of Fame type of name like people make it out to be. That's what I told you guys from the beginning. All undisputeds are not made equal. Like Usyk had to fight the World Boxing Super Series to become undisputed, right? He had to go through some real ones at cruiserweight. Then to top it off, he fought Tony Bellew right after to keep undisputed. Then he moved up to heavyweight, beat Joshua twice, beat Fury twice, beat Derek Chisora, who just beat Joe Joyce not that long ago, right? So then he beat Daniel Dubois as well, who's a champion. So Usyk has earned it in cruiserweight and also heavyweight. Versus like Terrence Crawford, he had to fight Ndongo. It's the same thing as Kambosos. You fought Ndongo to become undisputed. Devin fought one guy, George Kambosos, who just like Ndongo never really did anything relevant after. Man, I'm done. And that's what really happened. Y'all can be mad. Live streaming can be tough, which is why I use StreamYard. Click the link in the description for StreamYard, which is an awesome tool that enables you to set up your stream with ease of use. Get great results with live streaming. It's what I use. Stream to social media with ease with StreamYard. Live streaming is here to stay. Engage with your audience using StreamYard. Great way to reach out to your audience and connect. So you need a tool that can do that. If you're new to YouTube and you're struggling to get views, one tool I can provide to you is TubeBuddy. I've been on YouTube over 10 years. I use TubeBuddy daily to crank out videos just like this one that you're watching. Learn how the pros do it with TubeBuddy. YouTube receives a lot of traffic, which also means a lot of creators, a lot of people putting out content. So you need to learn the ropes so you know how to separate yourself, especially if you're new. But even if you're a pro, use TubeBuddy. The link is in the description. Get more views, more subscribers, and a higher click-through rate, so ultimately you can realize all of your online goals. Use my affiliate link in the description and grow your channel fast.